Well, hello team, welcome back. So myself, Louise Cantrell, here with Kane Avery, just having a conversation about how AI can help us within our jobs in product management. And you may remember that last time we were talking about the innovation canvas, great way to assess ideas that we have and understand whether those ideas should proceed through the product management lifecycle. We said last time, didn't we, Kane, that not a bad job on the innovation canvas that AI did. We can see on our screen now, we're sharing the prompts that we discussed last time that we pushed through AI in order to achieve this canvas and an assessment of this idea, which is a global forum for product management on AI. Kane, however, where did we pick it up? We picked it up around scale and said, didn't do a great job of scale.
Yeah, hi everyone. Welcome back to our little AI conversations. And we did indeed, Louise, talk about how this particular template didn't quite hit the scale or answers of scale that we were looking for when it comes to this template. It doesn't give us any idea of metrics across those bottom three categories: the growing market, the 3 years ahead, or the size of the opportunity.
So we were thinking, there's lots of new stuff, isn't there, that's come out on AI just very recently. Much more plugins are now available in OpenAI. We thought we'd put AI to the test around this area of scale to say, can we use some of the plugins to a better advantage rather than just the generative Chat GPT-4? Can we actually put it through its paces and see if we can do a better job around scale? What did we find?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So just to set the scene on this, I'll bring this screen across and share it in a new chat now. If you are subscribed and paying the subscription to OpenAI, you'll see a window similar to this. So you'll see you can choose between GPT 3.5, no restrictions on tokens there, or you can move into GPT-4 in its default format. Gives us our restrictions as standard in GPT-4. There's now a bit of a drop-down menu, however, so we can actually choose to have the default setting, that generative chatbot. We can also give it the ability to browse with Bing by selecting that second option. And there's also a range of plugins that you can utilize from the plugin store that allow us to search and analyze in different ways using one single AI tool, which would otherwise have to be done in separate tools as well. So we're going to click it onto this browse with Bing section, so that it's got access to the internet and actually browse the internet and see how it does, see if that improves our chances of answering the question around scale. In this example here, this chat that we can see, we've put it together already. We've asked it the question. We need to find out how large an opportunity is. So can you browse at least 3 different sites to try and understand the number of product managers that there are globally? So we're trying to get to some hard numbers, some metrics that will help us in the decision-making process around our previous idea on that innovation canvas. We can see in this example that we've got this drop-down that shows us everywhere that it's searched and all of the different actions it's taken whilst browsing the internet. And then if we read through, there's a couple of numbers that start to stand out that we didn't get before when we asked the question.
Can you zoom in on there?
I can indeed. I can zoom in. There we go.
Thank you.
So we can see that it's actually produced some numbers for us to start thinking about. First off, from its first reference, which is referenced here, so marketresearchmedia.com is a place that it's searched, suggests that there's an estimation that there will be between 3 to 4 million product managers globally by 2025. Then it's gone on to a second source. So remember, we asked it for 3 sources. The second source was using some LinkedIn data, and it's got a reference to the website there as well, which is theproductmanager.com, that this information's come from, that in August 2020, there were 700,000 individuals listed with product manager in their profile on LinkedIn. Again, thinking about that, it's then gone into a bit more detail and gave us the size of the US geographic alone that was reported to be around 146,000. The third source, however, looks like a bit of an anomaly, and we've got reference to the website here again that we can click onto, stating that there are 23,000 product managers worldwide, which clearly doesn't fit within the metrics of some of the previous references we've seen.
Massive differences.
Yeah, massive difference. So we know that that's a bit of an anomaly. So we can then see further. It's given us a little bit of information. It's worth noting that these figures might not be accurate or fully up to date. Also, certain product managers might not be accounted for through that LinkedIn data, as they may not have it as their profile, or their job role might be a product manager, but it might be named something slightly different. So it doesn't account for all of them. It gives us that window to understand what that data actually shows us. So
and it's quite nice that it's called that out, isn't it? Because I mean, when you think about it, if we were doing our own research, I mean, that would be some of the things that we'd be thinking about.
Absolutely, definitely. And in order to address that anomaly, sort of in a chatbot style, having a bit of a conversation, I've said thank you for its response and then asked it to exclude the one reference that looked like a bit of an anomaly from its answer. It's then regenerated an answer that gives us a lot of the same information, but without that anomaly, that really low number that we saw. And it's given us a bit of information around the expected growth as well, and growth that has been indicated between 2014 and 2020. So in quite a short response, it's given us quite a lot of information to actually get started with. So in reference to that failure around scale, when we use the default version of GPT-4, this has actually started to answer some of those questions and gives us a bit of a starting point for us to then go and do a bit more research around the potential TAM, or total addressable market, for this particular idea.
So, Kane, should we be scared of this? Or because in the olden days, before AI, we'd have just gone on and Googled this, right? What does Google say? The old traditional way? Would we get LinkedIn answer?
It's a really good point. So we can do a quick Google search of number of product managers globally and see where we get to on this as well. So we can see actually that first source that the chatbot used is the first source that comes up on Google as well. And that's the source using Bing as the search. So equally, it's a great answer, a great question, Louise. We should consider searching this ourselves, as we may come into particular issues, as we've seen with that first answer, around some of the data that it will scan across when it does search the web. However, like we've said previously, this gives us a bit of a starting point with minimal effort for us to then use as a jump-off point to start then with a bit of an advantage to our research as we go into it. We sort of know what to expect starting off, and we can go into the deeper research straight away rather than having to do this initial legwork. I don't think it's that scary, Louise. It's still a little bit of effort to get to the right answers in some cases, and certainly doing the work ourselves in Google is still more than relevant at the moment, as it doesn't do the best of jobs of going into all of the detail that we need.
Yeah, because arguably we got the same answer kind of here through Google, but without having to exclude that one source that seemed very different to the LinkedIn result.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly.
So what's our conclusions around this? In theory, kind of some of these tools look like they can support us from a research perspective around scale, but the jury's out a little bit as to whether it's any better than our traditional methods of using Google in this particular instance. Thanks for listening to us today. If you would like to listen to more of our noodles on AI and how it can help us as product managers, check out our channel here, because we'll be providing more content talking about more ways that we can use AI and how well AI can do on certain things, certain tasks that we do regularly as a product management team. We'll continue to grow this channel as we continue to explore more sources, more ways of helping us do our role. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, everybody.